The gales of November ride hard through the night, with waves like tall mountains, no shoreline in sight. Superior darkens, her cold heart grown deep. She gathers her secrets where drowned sailors sleep. The Eden-born faltered where wild waters roared, her hull torn asunder, her fate long deplored. Yet all reached the shoreline, no lives lost to the sea, their names spared from sorrow in Superior's decree. The Madeira lies broken by palisades stone, her timbers long scattered, her crew left alone. 9 sailors saved from cliffs dark and steep, one found his solace in Superior's keep. The Fitzgerald thundered, her steel straining sore, till the storm split her open. She sails nevermore. No message was carried, no final word said, just bells on the shoreline, tolling the dead. O terrible gray lady, so vast and so wide, Superior takes all, she will not abide. No mercy she carries, no promises keep, for all men are equal when drawn to the deep. Oh, heed her wild warning, her November gales that rattle the rigging and splinter the sails. For beauty and terror together she weaves, and names are the only thing ever she leaves. So hear the dark thunder, the storm's mournful hymn. The lake has no mercy, no pity for men. For sailors still tremble when the cold north winds weep of shipwrecks eternal, entombed in the deep.
The grey lady in the north calls. I hear her. I return.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and another epic adventure. It's that time of year again where I grab my gear and pack for cold weather. We are headed north to Minnesota. It is the 50th anniversary of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald, so we are going to the ceremony at Split Rock Lighthouse in a few days. Not sure yet on how many videos this will involve. As usual, everything is weather dependent. It is a full moon, so obviously we're not going to be able to get much done in the way of astrophotography, but I'm hoping to at least have a few clear nights. We've had some major CMEs over the last few days this week. So I'm hoping I get at least one night where I get to see the aurora, and obviously we will document that if and when it happens. If it's nasty out, which I have a feeling at least one of the days will be, we're not just going to sit around the hotel. We're going to go do stuff. Even if it's cold and wet, I'm not going to waste another trip up there. So this year is special since it is the 50th anniversary. The tickets to the event itself are sold out, and they sold out, I think, pretty quickly. So it's going to be, I think it was capped at 2,000 people. So if it's sold out, that's a lot of people. So I'm going to keep to the outskirts in the state park like I normally do. Don't know where we're going to be set up to document the event, but we're still gonna have fun doing it. So I'll pick you up when I get up to Minnesota, and we'll see you then. See you guys.
Split Rock Lighthouse, situated on the rugged cliffs of Lake Superior's North Shore, stands as one of Minnesota's most iconic landmarks. Its history is rich in maritime lore, having served as a beacon of safety for numerous ships navigating the treacherous waters of the Great Lakes. The lighthouse was constructed in response to a series of devastating shipwrecks along the rocky coastline. The most notable of these incidents involved the wreck of the SS William Edenborn and the schooner barge Madeira during the 1905 Mataafa blow, just north of the current location of the beacon. On November 28, 1905, the Madeira, being towed by the steamer William Edenborn, encountered a fierce storm with winds reaching 70 to 80 miles per hour, snow blowing onto the deck, and enormous swells. Fearing the loss of his own vessel, the captain of the William Edenborn decided to cut the Madeira loose. The Madeira, with 10 men aboard, drifted northeast until violent waves began smashing her against the cliffs of Gold Rock Point. It was speculated that the crew may have tried to set anchor and weather the storm. However, the wreck site later revealed that both anchors were still intact at the bow. Crewman Fred Benson managed to leap upon the sheer cliffs and scale the icy walls with a safety line, rescuing 8 other men. Unfortunately, the first mate perished with the ship when he was washed overboard. 2 days later, the tugboat Edna G successfully rescued the stranded crewmen of both vessels. The Edenborn would run aground nearby at the mouth of the Split Rock River and break in two. She would eventually return to sea and serve until 1962. The Mataafa storm of November 28 would go on to sink or damage another 28 ships on Lake Superior. The Madeira still lies in the blue-green waters of Lake Superior at the base of Gold Cliff and is a popular dive location. Completed in 1910, Split Rock Lighthouse became an indispensable maritime navigation fixture. Its powerful beacon, visible for miles across the lake, provided essential guidance for vessels navigating the unpredictable waters. To ensure optimal visibility, the lighthouse was equipped with a Fresnel lens, renowned for its efficiency in amplifying light. For nearly 6 decades, Split Rock Lighthouse was a sentinel in the dark. The lighthouse keepers, charged with maintaining the beacon and ensuring its continuous operation, played a crucial role in safeguarding ships and their crews. Their duties were demanding, requiring meticulous attention to detail and unwavering dedication. The remote location of the lighthouse presented unique challenges. Supplies were often delivered by boat, and the keepers had to contend with severe weather conditions, particularly during the harsh winter months. Despite these adversities, the lighthouse remained operational, guiding mariners through fog, storms, and darkness. advancements in navigational technology, and the construction of new aids along Lake Superior eventually reduced the need for Split Rock Lighthouse. In 1969, the lighthouse was officially decommissioned, signaling the end of an era. Nevertheless, its historical significance and architectural beauty warranted its preservation. The Minnesota Historical Society assumed management of the site, converting the lighthouse into a museum and historic landmark. Today, Split Rock Lighthouse serves as a testament to the region's maritime heritage, drawing visitors from around the globe. The lighthouse has been meticulously restored, enabling guests to experience its storied past firsthand. The legacy of Split Rock Lighthouse extends beyond its years of operation. It has become a cultural symbol, featured in literature, art, and photography. The lighthouse's dramatic setting and timeless design continue to inspire and captivate imaginations. Annually, the lighthouse hosts commemorative events, including the lighting of the beacon on the anniversary of the sinking of the SS Edmund Fitzgerald. These events honor the memory of those lost at sea and emphasize the lighthouse's enduring role in maritime history. The history of Split Rock Lighthouse represents a rich tapestry of resilience, innovation, and dedication. Its beacon, once a lifeline for ships on Lake Superior, now serves as a reminder of the region's maritime legacy and the importance of preserving historical landmarks. Split Rock Lighthouse remains a cherished symbol of Minnesota's North Shore, inviting all to explore and appreciate the stories it has to tell. The sinking of the SS Edmund Fitzgerald remains one of the most significant maritime disasters in the history of the Great Lakes. The freighter, colloquially known as the Fitz, met its tragic end on November 10, 1975, in Lake Superior during a severe storm. Despite the advancements in nautical technology and the ship's robust construction, the Fitzgerald's demise serves as a poignant reminder of nature's overwhelming power. The Edmund Fitzgerald was a colossal American Great Lakes freighter launched on June 7, 1958. Named after the president and chairman of the Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, the ship was esteemed for its record-breaking size and carrying capacity. Measuring 729 feet in length, it was the largest freighter of the Great Lakes at the time of its launch. Throughout its operational years, she transported taconite iron ore from mines near Duluth, Minnesota, to ironworks in Detroit, Toledo, and other Great Lakes ports. Its journeys were generally uneventful, and the freighter developed a reputation for reliability and efficiency. On the cold afternoon of November 9, 1975, the Edmund Fitzgerald eased away from Superior, Wisconsin, her hull heavy with 26,116 long tons of taconite ore pellets bound for Zug Island near Detroit. Captain McSorley, a seasoned mariner, guided the immense vessel through the gathering gloom, while below deck, the 28 crew members settled into their routines. The Fitzgerald, accompanied by the Arthur M. Anderson, slept through the steely waters of Lake Superior. Over the radio, Captain Dudley J. Paquette of the Wilfred Sykes, who had chosen a more sheltered northern route, listened to the steady exchange of course decisions between the Fitzgerald and the Anderson. Spirits on board were high. After all, the run was familiar, and the ship reputable for her reliability. Yet as the sky darkened, a sense of unease lingered. The kind that only experienced sailors feel when the lake's mood begins to shift. As the Fitzgerald and Anderson moved deeper into the lake, the world outside grew colder and the wind sharper. The glow of the ship's lights illuminated only the immediate deck, leaving the vast, restless water stretching into darkness. Inside, the crew braced for what November often brings to Lake Superior, an unpredictable, punishing storm. At 7 p.m., the National Weather Service escalated its forecast, issuing gale warnings. The Fitzgerald and Anderson altered course, seeking protection from the coming tempest along the Ontario shore. By 1 a.m. on November 10th, a fierce storm engulfed both ships, bringing winds of 52 knots and waves that climbed to 10 feet, a relentless assault that battered even the most unflappable crew. Each blast of wind rattled the steel hull, the ship groaning as it plowed forward. Below deck, men exchanged anxious glances, their faces drawn in the flickering light in the mess hall as the radio crackled with news of worsening conditions. Captain McSorley, known for his tenacity, announced a reduction in speed, a rare move that signaled to the crew the seriousness of their situation. Still, the waves grew, tossing coffee mugs and sleep schedules alike. As the night wore on, the men felt the mounting dread, the kind where each lurch of the ship reminds you how small you are in the face of nature's fury. As dawn broke on November 10th, the situation rapidly deteriorated, setting the stage for a day that would test every skill and ounce of courage aboard. By mid-afternoon, thick snow squalls reduced visibility, swallowing the Fitzgerald from the Anderson's view. At 3:30 p.m., Captain McSorley's voice sounded over the radio. His composure strained. The ship was taking on water. Vent covers and rails had been lost, and a heavy list was developing. The bilge pumps ran constantly, echoing through the steel corridors, a grim soundtrack to the crew's growing anxiety. As waves crashed over the deck and the wind howled through the rigging, the crew faced mounting fear and uncertainty, knowing each minute could be their last. With radar failure compounding the crisis, the Fitzgerald relied on the Anderson for navigation. McSorley's plea to the U.S. Coast Guard,
"Are the lights and navigation beacon at Whitefish Point operational?"
hinted at just how desperate their plight had become. The reply was not reassuring. Though the lighthouse shone, the radio beacon, a lifeline in the blinding storm, was out. By late afternoon, winds screamed at 58 knots, and waves, now 25 feet high, battered the Fitzgerald mercilessly. Below deck, every groan of steel or crash of water kept nerves taut, as men gripped railings and glanced out portholes, searching for signs of hope. At 7:10 p.m., the Anderson called to check on the Fitzgerald. McSorley's last words echoed across the radio.
"We are holding our own."
In those few words, the collective will of 29 souls confronted the might of the elements. Less than 10 minutes later, all contact was lost. The blinding snow would dissipate 30 minutes later, leaving the radar empty and the Fitzgerald gone without a trace. Once the realization that the Fitzgerald was gone washed over the crew of the Anderson, the captain immediately radioed the Coast Guard for aid. The only Coast Guard ship capable of surviving the rough seas was over 300 miles away and would never make it in time to help. In what would become an insane act of bravery, Captain Jesse B. Bernie Cooper knowing there was no one else to help, would turn the Arthur M. Anderson around and head boldly back into the jaws of the storm they had just safely escaped. In the end, 2 of the Edmund Fitzgerald's lifeboats would be found, but no trace of the ship or its crew would be found. 4 days later, a U.S. Navy P-3 Orion would find a magnetic anomaly under 530 feet of water. 2 days later, the Coast Guard would confirm the location with side-scan sonar, finding 2 pieces of shipwreckage on the bottom of Lake Superior. In May of the following year, the Coast Guard would finally confirm the final resting place of the Fitzgerald and her crew, only 15 miles from safety. In the wake of the disaster, multiple investigations sought to uncover the cause of the sinking. Theories ranged from structural failure due to the storm's sheer force, to possible grounding on a shoal, to a combination of factors. Despite extensive efforts, the exact cause remains inconclusive, shrouded in mystery and speculation. Personally, I believe Captain Cooper of the Anderson knew best what happened out there. After all, he was 16 miles behind the Fitzgerald for most of the perilous voyage. He saw what claimed the 29 lives. Something that haunts the depths of the lake, striking without warning to pull its next victim to the bottom. A monster in the deep. What kind of monster lives in a lake as beautiful as this? The Three Sisters. The Three Sisters is a phenomenon on Lake Superior in which a series of large rogue waves travel closely together, one after another. They can overwhelm a vessel with water, causing it to capsize. On November 10th, 1975, the Fitzgerald and the Anderson sailed into the monster's lair. At 6:30 p.m., the Anderson was struck by 2 35-foot waves that buried her bow and stern underwater. Captain Cooper stated that the waves, possibly accompanied by a third, traveled off in the direction of the Fitzgerald and would have reached her about the same time she went down. In the end, I believe it was a combination of factors that ultimately ended with the Three Sisters taking the already crippled ship. The sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald has left an indelible mark on maritime history and culture. Gordon Lightfoot's haunting ballad, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, immortalized the event, resonating with listeners worldwide. Memorials and tributes to the lost crew have been erected, ensuring that their sacrifice is never forgotten. The sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald is a testament to the unpredictable and often perilous nature of maritime travel. It serves as a somber reminder to the bravery and dedication of those who venture upon the waters, and the enduring impact of such calamities on the collective memory. As we reflect on this poignant chapter in history, we honor the legacy of the Fitzgerald and its crew, whose story continues to echo through the annals of time.